Now, who do you support if you disagree with the free market economy? How do you cast your vote if you think all the mainstream parties are a bit, well, too mainstream? It was an issue that the veteran left-wing film director Ken Loach addressed on Question Time in February of last year.
There's a lot of people in this country who share a lot of thoughts. They hate the breakup of the National Health Service. They hate the privatisations and the outsourcing and the labour agencies and the low wages. They hate the mass unemployment. And there isn't a broad movement, a broad party that they can vote for. People spend a lot of time saying, who are we going to do? Who are we going to hold our nose and vote for? And I think we need a broad movement on the left. And the one thing I would have in common with Neil is that UKIP has done it for the right. I disagree with almost everything that UKIP stands for. But we need a broad movement of the left.
And that appearance on the BBC by Ken Loach inspired left-wing activists to come together to try to form a new outfit called Left Unity. I think the clue is in the name there. Here in the studios is the writer Salman Shaheen, who is a member of Left Unity's National Coordinating Group. Welcome.
Hi.
Who's backing Left Unity apart from Ken Loach?
Quite a number of the existing far-left groups are involved in Left Unity, but also a lot of disaffected Labour members are coming over to Left Unity now. We've got ex-Greens as well, and, you know, we've had one member every 10 minutes joining up today.
So what's a lot?
We now have 1,600 members, and we founded our party on November the 30th last year, so,
right,
this is
just a couple of months in.
Yeah.
OK. But on the left, to the left of the Labour Party, you've already got the Socialist Platform, the Communist Platform, the Socialist Resistance, the Communist Party of Great Britain, Provisional Central Committee. That's not to be confused with the other CPGB. They're the ones that run the Morning Star. Or not to be confused with the Communist Party of Britain, no greater than that. Workers' Power, the Alliance for Workers' Liberty, which is also known as Socialist Organiser. Have I missed anybody out?
All these groups have signed up to support Left Unity, but
will they all be there at your conference?
We'll find out, but, you know...
Well, you must know who's coming to your conferences.
Well, Left Unity is not a stitch-up of far-left groups. What it is an individual member-based organisation. So, you know, some of them will have signed up to the conference, some might not. It depends whether the wrangling over policy details appeals to people like that or not.
But isn't the danger that... I mean, I appreciate the point of trying to get some unity to the left of the Labour Party in this country, but isn't the likelihood that you simply add the words Left Unity to that list of other left-wing groups that I've just read out?
What we need to do is sort of...
It is like Life of Brian, isn't it?
That's a commonly used phrase, and, you know, I've hung my head in the past at the inability of the left to get on. But what we have at the moment was we have a serious problem with austerity. It is really damaging the lives of the poorest and most vulnerable people in this country, and Labour's not providing an effective opposition to that. So we need to unite an opposition to that.
But I guess the point I'm making is, having followed some of these groups for many years, is that your chances of unity, based on recent history, is close to zero.
You've got to try, even if it's like banging your heads against the wall. It's got to be done. It's too important not to, and I think it's important to democracy as well to have a voice to the left of Labour, because if Labour is in the centre of the road, in the middle ground, with the Tories, with the Lib Dems, then there is no left-wing voice out there.
Now, the conference is in Manchester tomorrow.
That's right.
It was the last event you had was described as, quote, a bit of a shambles, and then, quote, pretty chaotic. And that was by one of your leading members on your own website.
You know, there were a lot of people there, around 500 people, a lot of different views coming together. And what we've tried to do...
Or not coming together.
Well, they did come together in the end because we agreed a founding statement. But what we're really trying to do here is something that's not been done properly on the left before, which is create a bottom-up, grassroots, democratic organisation that's utterly transparent. And if democracy is a bit messy, then that's got to be done.
You haven't yet decided on a policy on whether Britain should be in the European Union or not, is that correct?
That's one of the many policies that will be decided tomorrow.
Well, indeed, I think you've got 66 pages of motions in 6 hours to get through.
That's right. You know, I haven't even read all the motions myself.
You're not going to get through them all, are you?
It will be very difficult. It'll be a tough day, but we've got another conference coming up in June to handle the rest of our policy. It's a very long process, and you know that Labour Party took a very long time to form and get to where it is today. What we need to be doing is being very careful that all people's views are represented in this, and that we don't. It's not a top-down sort of bureaucratic stitch-up. Otherwise, people will be very angry.
Well, one of the motions which is not top-down but bottom-up is to disband the British Army, which you call a standing army, and arm the people.
I will be voting against that motion.
You will.
And I don't suspect that motion will pass.
People have the right to bear arms and defend themselves. It sounds like the Tea Party in America, that motion.
People have their views in left unity, and it's important that all these views are heard. I disagree with that motion. I won't be voting for it.
Do you think it'll get through, though?
No, I don't think it'll get through. The majority of left unity members are disaffected ex-Labour members, ex-Labour voters who are in favour of a sort of a broad church left-wing party.
Does that mean then that you don't regard yourself as quite as left as, say, the Communist Party of Great Britain or the Communist Platform?
No, I don't regard myself as quite as left as the Communist Platform or the Communist Party of Great Britain. Their members are members of left unity, and they form the extreme left wing of left unity. I mean, all political parties have a range of voices in them, and they should all be listened to.
Would you like the members, though? I mean, I guess if you added up these groups, it may come to, well, at least several hundred people. Would you like them to leave these groups and come and join you?
They are members of their groups. They're also members of Left Unity. That's the thing. Left Unity doesn't mean you have to leave your existing party. It means that you are all welcome under the church if you're to the left of Labour.
I get a feeling you're on the moderate wing of Left Unity.
I am on the moderate wing of Left Unity, yeah.
Helen?
Well, I think it's funny because I was reminded me of the fact that the UKIP manifesto's got restoring the circle line to be a circle. So, you know, it's not by any means limits strange manifesto policies.
No, to be fair, this isn't their policy. It's just simply a motion that they have before them tomorrow.
But I think it's funny when we make the comparison with UKIP, because the single thing that they have done is they might very well deliver the next election for the Labour Party by splitting away votes from the Conservatives. So is your aspiration to run candidates against Labour Party candidates in constituencies, or do you want to see yourself more as a pressure group?
I think it's both, actually. Now, we haven't decided yet when we're going to stand in an election, but we are intending to stand in elections. We will inevitably be running against some Labour candidates. I would imagine right-wing Labour candidates. I have a lot of time for the left in Labour. The 13 Labour MPs who voted against the welfare cap, for example, I think they did a fantastic job. They should be applauded for actually doing what they were elected to do.
But you're not putting up candidates in the European elections. Is that because you haven't got the money or the guns?
We've only just started. I mean, it's far too early. The Green Party, I believe, had their candidates in place 2 years before the European elections. Democracy takes time, and I think.
Diane Abbott?
Pardon?
Have you invited Diane Abbott
to join? I think she's quite.
to come to the conference.
No, we haven't. I've got a lot of time.
She was one of the 13, wasn't she?
She was, yeah. No, I mean that she is in Labour. We are a party outside of Labour.
Why don't you join the Labour Party and, from the left of the Labour Party, try to get it to move more to what you would like it to be? Wouldn't that be more effective?
Some people take that view. I think Owen Jones takes that view. The late great Tony Benn took that view. I have a lot of time for their opinions, but it seems to me a thankless task. It seems to me that they're shouting into the wind here. The Labour Party has been dominated by a very sort of centre-right almost agenda for a very long time. It's now signed up to Conservative spending plans, and if people support Labour, if they vote Labour, what they're going to get is a government that's not so radically different from the Tories, and that's people. I think voters need a choice.
Some of these other groups I've read out to you maybe trying to make what you want to do a thankless task. You know how tribal it can be.
Well, I hope that we can all get along together in a spirit of unity.
That's hence the name.
Sounds like we're going to end up with left disunity to me after the conference tomorrow. I mean, two things I think are interesting. If we get a couple more hung parliaments, we're probably going to see more of this sort of thing, fracturing off of different bits from the main political parties. There's probably 4 or 5 parties within the Labour Party.
Well, we have a 4-party system now in England, not just in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. We now have a 4-party system in England.
And the other thing that's interesting is that there is someone making a case against austerity. You know, the difference between the Tories and Labour, actually, there's been a conspiracy between George Osborne and Ed Balls to pretend that there's a huge difference. They're actually arguing over about £20 billion out of about £700 billion.
And
you know,
a constant refrain that you'll hear from Green Party supporters is, why don't we get the kind of exposure that UKIP got? Because we're not seen as, you know, and they've got an MP. So they're not seen as being somebody who's taking votes from Labour, which makes UKIP more interesting that they're taking votes from the Tories. So I think if there is a kind of left of Labour Party that's deemed to be taking support away from Labour, that will automatically make it more interesting to the media.
So what's the biggest single thing you hope to achieve tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I want us to begin the road to our manifesto. I want us to agree some very strong, very clear anti-austerity policies, some policies towards defending the NHS, repealing the bedroom tax, renationalising the railways and the energy companies to make a better society for consumers and workers.
Not that different from what the left of the Labour Party would like.
It's not that different from what the left of the Labour Party would like, but the left of the Labour Party don't run the Labour Party.
I understand. All right, thank you for coming on. Be interesting to see how you get on tomorrow.